Hello, everyone. I'm Sister Vasa. Welcome to our show. I am here today with my dear friend and certified nutritionist to the coffee universe, Denise Canellos. Denise, please say hi to our viewers.
Hi, Zillions, and hi, sister. I'm very excited to be here today with you.
Today, everyone, we're introducing an all new program that we will be launching for the upcoming Orthodox system of Lent. That's the fasting season preceding Pascha or Easter. And we'll be launching a new program called HealthyFast. This new program includes meal plans that have been compiled with Denise's collaboration, and I'll let Denise tell you a little bit about herself before I go on to describe how this program will look and where you can subscribe for it and join us on the fasting journey.
Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Canellos. I am a certified nutrition specialist and a professor of nutrition at Chapman University. And there are definitely healthy ways to fast and maybe some not so healthy ways to fast. And so we want to be sure this is a fantastic Lenten season for you. And so I'm going to be bringing a lot of resources to help you fast in a healthy way. I'm a Greek Orthodox Christian at St. Paul's Parish in Irvine, California. And along with my nutrition practice, I have been fasting in a healthy way for many years. Following these guidelines and fasting in this healthy way, you can significantly reduce your cholesterol, your blood sugar, maybe even your blood pressure, and make this a truly satisfying experience. And I promise it will not be unpleasant. The food will be tasty, it will be easy to prepare. You can do this. You can do this along with us.
So, what we wanted to tell you today in this introductory video, everybody, is that the health concerns surrounding the Orthodox way of fasting, which we have not explained to you in case you're not familiar with them, we haven't explained that according to the food restrictions, if you want to call them that, or food guidelines, I prefer to call them, for the fasting season, we abstain from all animal products, and on some days, even from oils. Now, with regard to oil, there is the tradition for lay people, but also in certain monasteries, right, not to abstain from oil on all weekdays of the fasting season. Even in rather strict monasteries and convents, I have experienced that sometimes it's only the first week of Lent where one abstains from oil. In any event, I want to point out that the fasting rules do have some leeway, and they are applied, of course, with discernment according to the possibilities and circumstances of every either family or community or individual. Single people might find their own challenges to fasting and taking time to plan out their meals, to cook for themselves, right? So, in the meal plans that Denise has so expertly compiled, and we have discussed some of them, where I have pitched in some of my ideas that Denise has very patiently worked through and modified. There are certain things there, options provided for people of different walks of life. Simple meal plans, simple meals, not so simple options to, change things up a bit every now and then. And there are also tips for those people who also have weight loss options, even while the weight loss options and portion control that is suggested with regard to certain high calorie ingredients. This is an optional part of the program. Now, on the topic of any weight loss objectives, I want to just point out several things about the issues surrounding obesity and unhealthy weight in our time. First of all, in this era of the COVID pandemic, we have discovered that not only the elderly are a especially vulnerable demographic for acquiring a heavy case of the novel coronavirus, but the other segment of the population that is very vulnerable. And Denise, is this true? Very vulnerable to becoming infected with COVID?
Yes, sister. It seems that people who are suffering from obesity are at higher risk of not only developing a serious case of COVID, but may also be more at risk of spreading COVID. So it's something that we do need to think about in this epidemic of obesity that we have, that maybe the church has something wonderful to help us deal with it.
Right. So one could see it also as really, well, in this difficult situation of the pandemic, if one feels that one is responsible to take safety precautions, to socially distance, to wear the mask in certain situations, and so forth, well, wouldn't it be proactive, healthy thing to do anyway, also to try to get healthier, right? To get to a healthier weight, and in this way also to help out to better the situation. So I'm thinking, Denise, that aside from our Christian duty also to help to contribute to the effort to stop this virus and to better the situation rather than make the worst of it, I think that it's perhaps not against the whole ethos of Orthodox church culture and Christianity in general, also to do our part to not be the most vulnerable, not to be the ones ending up getting wheeled in, if there is something that we could do at least to mitigate that risk, right? And in general, when this pandemic has passed, as it will, right, uh, it's still good for us to learn a healthy way, not only of fasting, by the way, everybody, because part of our program is also the pre fasting period, how to start to put order into our food discipline if we don't happen to have it, right? Some of us, I can speak for myself, tend towards not having good food discipline and always have to watch out for that daily discipline. But the church calendar, in the case of the Byzantine Rite, actually has a lot of helpful tools. For example, the structure of the Lenten triodion, that is the whole liturgical system that governs pre-Lenten preparation, which lasts a whole month. It's beginning this weekend with the Sunday of the Publican and Pharisee. And we are eased into the fast, the strictest or the full program of which will only begin on the Monday after the meat fair Sunday. So we will get more into that as we begin the program. We'll be talking week after week, beginning already in this pre-Lenten period, talking about how does one have an orderly meal plan first in these preceding weeks when the animal products are allowed, right? But to different degrees, because the week preceding Lent then no longer is meat allowed, right? But dairy products are still allowed and fish is still allowed every day. So we'll be going through this, offering a weekday audio podcast as I usually do on patreon.com/Sister Vasa. I'm providing the link here. And to all subscribers, $20 or more a month, you will receive access to the weekday audio podcast and to the digital copy of this Lenten guidebook of Healthy Fast. Do you see that? There are meal plans here and also daily reflections and a calendar that shows you the structure of pre-Lent and Lent, and then Bright Week, that's the week of Pascha. So we will have some guidance as well, how to transition back into normal eating, not according to the fasting rules, but still within a framework of a healthy diet plan. And we are offering this guidebook as an uploadable, printable, of course, document, because we have found that actually shipping things from Vienna, Austria, around the world, now during the COVID pandemic, has been very tedious and unreliable. The international post is not very reliable right now. That's why you will upload it when you subscribe on patreon.com/sistervasa. You will also get a weekly video, sometimes together with Denise and with me. I will be talking about the liturgical meanings of the structure of Lent. For example, uh, the contemplation of the parable of the publican and Pharisee. Next weekend is focuses on the parable of the prodigal son. I'll talk briefly about what this has to do with our preparation for Lent. Denise will be offering um, a series of tips and explanations of the various aspects of the Lenten diet and also of these of the kind of meal plans that we have preceding Lent and so forth. And subscribers to this program, known as Healthy Fasters henceforth, the Healthy Fasters also have an opportunity on each weekday as far as the audio podcast goes, and also under the once a week video, to leave their comments, to share their experience, to exchange their experiences. And when Denise can, she will pitch in. And when she can't, if you have questions for her, I will be asking her and then responding from what she has told me. And if you have questions of liturgical nature or what the fasting rule is for the day, I can respond to these questions. But in your guidebook, you will also have an indication of what the fasting or feasting rule is according to the Byzantine liturgical system, according to the typikon that is used in the Slavic traditions known as the Sabbaite typikon. I do provide in this guidebook the fasting rule. Now, one does use discernment and consultation with more experienced people as far as what your rule is. But in this guidebook, we do provide the rule according to the typikon. So if you're interested in going all the way and being oil free during the weekdays, which is what going all the way means, well, you have that opportunity according to this guidebook. However, if you are fasting with oil throughout, well, there is a healthy way of doing that that is also suggested in the guidebook. Okay? But you can learn more right here. So go to patreon.com/sistervasa. And to know more about Denise and the wonderful work that she does, do go to Denise's website. We are providing the link to Denise's website, and you can get more information about Denise's nutritional practice and all the people she helps out on a regular basis according to her vocation.
And sister, let me just add, with this program, fasting will be so easy and doable for you. You will learn how to cook once and eat 3 or 4 meals. You will learn how to cook beans so that they're truly delicious and not just bland. You will learn how to set a healthy meal. You will learn all these guidelines about how to incorporate carbohydrates healthfully. You will learn how to, we'll even throw in a couple dessert recipes if you want, right? Because sometimes in the middle, it's really hard. You won't get bored. This is completely doable. Even if you want to bring your kids along for part of this journey or all of this journey, all of your nutritional needs will be met. You will not gain weight. You will be healthier. You will feel good. And I just want to share this with you because it's such a beautiful part of our Orthodox faith. And it creates a lot of confusion for people, and it doesn't have to. It can be really easy and enjoyable.
Thanks for that, Denise. And we have to remember that nowadays there are certain psychological obstacles, I think, of actually doing Lent. It's not true, of course, for a lot of people who are used to fasting, but it is true, I think, for a lot of people that either we don't really get it anymore or we really don't believe that Lent should be about food. You know, it sounds to us like maybe some kind of a medieval uh, bit of hypocrisy of some sort, or externalization of the faith, and a certain tendency, I think, to spiritualize fasting that really is also about food. I think this is a misunderstanding, a misconception that comes from different directions. For one thing, I think that there's a misconception about fasting that it's supposed to be about not thinking about food or not spending time or money or energy on food, as if that's bad. Well, that's not actually an orthodox idea, and I think a lot of people will be shocked to hear that. But the orthodox fasting tradition doesn't say anywhere, give up what you like. You see, there is this tradition in today's way of fasting in Roman Catholicism, and I am not interested in bashing this tradition in any way. There's a history to that fasting tradition, right? That was not always that way. However, uh, there is not this tradition of give up what you like, which seems to suggest, uh, that you should not by any means be enjoying food, because that's bad. You should feel bad about eating. Well, uh, the reason that this cannot be said about the Orthodox fasting tradition, for one thing, uh, when you fast, as St. John Chrysostom says, nobody enjoys food as much as he who fasts. Because when you do eat and you eat, you do pay attention to when you eat. It has meaning because the times of eating and the times of celebrating are very much determined by what the meaning is of the day and of the season, right? And a certain order comes into your eating and your abstaining. And you abstain enough to enjoy, to rediscover food as a healthy source of feeding the body that you need to efficiently to follow your vocation and to be also of service, both in a beneficial way to yourself and others. But we have to rediscover mindfulness towards food, because not being mindful of food does not uh, necessarily or even usually uh, make for a healthy diet, right? If we mindlessly stuff anything into our mouth, especially when we encounter a Cinnabon on the way and reach into our purses, well, without thinking about it, right? It's not a good recipe for a healthy life. So what I'm trying to say by all this is the mental obstacles I think that we build around to take up the church's tradition of fasting, I think a lot of them are in the way, just like going on a healthy diet usually is like 90% at least a psychological task. And then there's the 10% part of practically sitting down and having a plan, right? So the actual plan is more or less quickly accessible and you can figure it out, but you do need to take the time. And we also have to get rid of the mental obstacle of thinking, I have to muster up willpower. Willpower is a very intimidating thing because it's like waiting around for the descent of the Holy Spirit, and you think, where is he? You know what I'm saying? It's it's sort of a pointless kind of exercise to put it in those terms. Okay, so what we usually lack, my friends, is the time. Think of it this way: I don't lack the willpower. Forget about that. I lack the time, and that is a very psychological phenomenon. We find time. We find the time if we want to surf the internet and go down a certain rabbit hole and learn about some totally random thing like Armenian rug weaving or something that we just managed to somehow get sucked into. 5 hours later, we know a lot more about it than we planned on doing. This happens very easily, right? But there are certain important objectives in life that we don't seem to find the time for. Well, let's think of this way about about organizing our healthy eating habits. We just need to sit down and find the time, right? So it's a time management issue. Throw it out of your head that it's a willpower issue. Denise, could you tell us something about mental health and healthy eating?
Yeah, sister. So there's a couple things. One, we have taken the time to put a plan together for you to make this easy. So this will be less daunting, right? Doing things as a group leads to more success. So fasting with all of us together in a group will help you have that support, which can lead to success. And we also have good evidence now that healthy eating and eating especially this way can help alleviate some symptoms of mild depression and anxiety. I think in this pandemic, many of us are experiencing some anxiety and even some symptoms of mild depression. And this can help. So it's the getting started. Sometimes that's the hardest part. But get started with us, right? We have this program. We have a really good reason to get started, and I think you'll find this is actually really rewarding and satisfying.
Thanks a lot, Denise. So, everybody, get healthy fast. Sign up right here. Do not hesitate. Join us. There will be a lot of us there. People are signing on, and it's going to be a wonderful experience all together. All right. Thank you so much, Denise. We will
Yes.
see you again already on the Healthy Fast program, right? We'll be launching it, as I think I already mentioned, this Monday following the Sunday of the Publican and Pharisee. So be there, and we will see you there, my friends. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.